Alright, what's going on, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, recently Valve released a new update to CS2 with a bunch of changes, and every time Valve makes one of these updates, I always load up Counter-Strike and see if they fix packet loss, and they always haven't. But this time, I load up CS2, and it seems like the issue is actually getting better. After the Call to Arms update, like a week ago, packet loss got worse for like every single person who plays Counter-Strike. The discussion forums on Steam were just filled with people complaining about it. And which sucks because I was hoping the Call to Arms update would be like as Counter-Strike's first major update, would make the game playable for the couple hundred, maybe couple thousand people who just can't even play competitive anymore. But I checked out CS2 today, and it seems like the issue's actually gotten a lot better. It wasn't perfect, but the beginning of the match is like still a complete lag fest, but the gameplay was actually pretty decent for the most part. I noticed performance was also better on the new shoots map, which is something that people have pointed out on Twitter. But once I started recording with OBS, the performance kind of tanked again, so I might have to check out some OBS settings. And I also had Unity open in the background, so take that with a grain of salt. But the movement still felt kind of buggy. The scoping in wasn't great also, like just kind of felt a little bit unresponsive. But weapon switching was fine for the most part. I didn't notice any times where my weapons would rubber band backwards, and as far as the actual movement rubber banding, it wasn't horrible, except for at the beginning of each match. Which it's an improvement, but like this is Counter-Strike we're talking about. Like it needs to feel crystal crisp in every single way. Like this should not be an issue. I want to say this is bad networking on Valve's part, because this is the only game where I experience this issue. And CSGO is perfectly fine, so CS2, I feel like this should be a more prominent issue that they're trying to fix. I'm glad to see that they're taking steps towards resolving the issue. You can see with the patch notes the number of times that they address packet loss or the net graph. It's clear that they know about the issue and they're aware of the problem, but it's still not completely fixed as far as I can tell. It's getting better, but not completely fixed. Aside from the packet loss, I did want to talk about two other changes that I think are pretty interesting. The first is the new view bobbing animation, which everyone's already talked about, but I don't really have a preference on which is better. I think they're both, they're okay. I think the new one is a little bit more boring. I kind of like more movement in the view bobbing because I think it's a little bit more immersive, but it's less distracting, so I think generally people are going to like it more. I think they should give you a menu option, like a settings option, to be able to change between the old one, the new one, and a none. Like, don't leave that stuff on the console, that's just flame. The second is this lens distortion effect I noticed on the off while I was playing Arms Race, which that's really cool. Puts some like chromatic aberration along the edge of the scope and kind of warps it, which is cool, it's realistic, it looks nice. So yeah, is packet loss fixed in CS2? Kind of, I think. It seems like Valve are working towards fixing it, but it's not totally fixed. It could also be that my case is an exception and it hasn't changed for most people. So you guys have to let me know if you're still experiencing packet loss. Hopefully Valve gets this issue like completely resolved sooner rather than later. It's been months since CS2's release, and for the most part I've just stopped playing Counter-Strike since competitive matches are basically unplayable, which is a real shame. If you haven't already done your own research, there's a YouTube video I watched a few weeks back that helped my packet loss initially, but after the Arms Race update it came back in full force, and I wasn't just gonna be, yeah, it's kind of stopped working. But you can check that out and try it for yourself, see if it's gonna help you guys. I'll leave a link to that video in the pinned comment. So yeah, thanks for watching, bye.